So I am going to, this will be my install video on how I am going to do, I'm going to do a modified Vixen sew-in. And I chose this because of the hair I want that I purchased. It's going to be able to hopefully blend with my hair, and I'm going to have some really great flexibility in styling. So I chose a modified Vixen. I'm going to choose a modified Vixen method, and I'll show you step by step on what I'm going to do with that. So now I'm just going to prep the hair. So a few days ago, I completely mud washed and conditioned my hair like normal. So check out my videos on how I do that. And now what I'm going to do is I'm going to basically prep my hair to be braided.
Okay, so step one is I'm going to oil my scalp. I'm going to be using the Jamaican black castor oil to oil my scalp. This oil will prevent from the itchy scalp, and it also provides hair growth. I use this, it's a nice thick oil, and I use this because of my itchy scalp. So you guys pretty much know how to oil the scalp, but I'm going to take it section by section, and I am just going to basically move through the scalp and get the oil all through the scalp. So my hair is in 3 sections now. I have 2 ponytails in the front and 1 in the back. And what I've done is I left the center out. This will be my center braid out. I want to leave enough hair to where I can basically part it and leave some up when I put it in the ponytail and leave some down. So I've left about almost 2 inches out in the center. And from there, I'm just going to simply take the hair, braid it up, and get it out of the way. Okay, so from there, now I'm going to start with the front side, and I'm just parting the hair to get it out of the way. So from here, I am on the side part, I'm giving it about, it's about 1.5 inches section. So if you can see, it's about 1.5 inches, and I'm leaving that in. Again, the goal is to be able to part the hair down the middle of that section and section it off. So I'm doing a side part because I don't like front parts on my head. Now I'm doing on the edges. So I'm going to leave about 1 inch out on the edge of the hair. So I'm going to leave 1 inch out there, and then I'm going to get the side edge, and I'm going to leave about 1 inch out there. And I'm just going to repeat this process and just basically braid the hair just to get it out of the way. Okay, so on the other side, I'm doing the same thing. I'm leaving it about 1 inch out on the front of the hair for my leave out, and I'm going to do the same with the sides. So on the front and the side, basically, I'm leaving it about 1 inch out. In the middle, where I'm trying to part my hair, I leave between 1.5 inches and 2 inches. And in the back, I'm doing the same thing. It's just leaving about 1 inch out, and I'm just going to braid that hair up to get it out of the way. Okay, so now I am going to basically use some of my leave-in conditioner. I use the Kinky Curly Not Today leave-in conditioner, and I am going to get some of my shea butter mixture, and I'm just going to basically rub that through my hair to prep my hair to be braided. So these will be the braids that the weave will be attached to. So now I'm going to get a small, tiny section of hair. Hope you guys can see this. So I'm getting a small tiny section of hair, and I am just going to kind of start in a square pattern. Something in my hair, I'm getting it out. And I'm going to start with the square pattern, and I'm basically just going to kind of braid that around, kind of like a square, you know, what you would call a square circular motion. So I'm braiding that in a small braid, and I'm just going to connect that braid. So I start with the back of the section, and I work my way up to the front, and I basically just repeat that pattern for the entire section of the hair. And I actually do the same pattern for the remaining sections of the hair. So I'm braiding really small, you guys. I want it to be like a flat braid, so you can see the end result. And so I'm going to do the same thing for the other sections of the hair. So I'm finished braiding, and you can see the braid pattern. I've started and I've just basically rotated the hair around in a circular kind of like square motion. And for the braid out, I'm just going to simply take the braid that's left out, and I'm basically just going to sew that, attaching it to the other braid. The braid out will allow me to have another section, another hair to sew onto, and so I'm basically just going to braid that out and attach it so you barely can see any parts after I do that. So there it is, and there's all the hair sewn up, and now it's time to sew in the hair. Okay, so this is the 18-inch bundle, and I'm going to begin by sewing in the 18-inch bundle. Okay, so here's a couple tips. I always pre-thread needles. I'm usually do about 3 or 4 when I'm doing it, so I don't have to stop and thread. Okay, so now sewing the hair. What I've done is I've taken the weft and I've placed it underneath the very first braid. I thought this was centered a little bit more, but it's not. But basically, I'm taking this under the hair and I'm sewing it underneath the braid. I'll show you a little later more in detail. Sorry about this not being centered. And I am basically just kind of sewing the hair under the first braid. By doing this, this will allow my hair to be, when I put it up in a ponytail, you won't be able to see the track. So I am sewing it under the first braid. And from there, I'm going to take the hair and I'm just doing the flip over method. So instead of cutting it layer by layer, I'm just flipping it over. And now I am sewing it, just going back and forth with the braids. So from there, I'm just going to continue to sew. And so I started sewing and I kind of learned a lesson on my way. I felt like the hair was just a little too skimpy, and then I had a lot of the bundle that I wanted this to be in the back section, and I knew that I was going to have too much hair. So halfway through, after the first layer, I decided to go ahead and double layer it in order to make sure I get all the hair in my head. So basically, I'm doing the same thing, and I'm just going to double layer the hair. Okay, so now you can see the first section. So you see when I pull it up, you can't really see the track, and the first section is looking good. So we'll move on to the next section. So I have the hair, I've doubled it up. This is the 16-inch, and I'm going to start with the front section on the side. And as you can see, this is what I kind of was alluding to a little earlier, is that I'm taking the weft, so the track of the hair, I'm taking it and I just want to show you slowly that I'm sewing it under the first braid. Again, this is for the purposes of pulling it up. So I'm sewing it under, and I'm going to basically just work my way around. So I start in the front, I work my way around to the back of that section. And then from that section, I am basically just going to do the flip over method and then go back and forth. So I'm basically just sewing underneath in that initial braid and around, and I am going back and forth. Since this is so I just want to kind of show you how I flip it. I'm basically just going to flip it over, and I'm going to continue to sew. And since this is the 16-inch, and I have to do this on both sides, I'm not going to cover this entire section. I'm going to leave a little bit out at the front, but I'm just going to sew a little bit, covering maybe half of the section, and I'm just going to go back and forth and leave a little bit out so I can add the 14-inch in. So I'll do the same thing that I'm doing on this side. I'll eventually just cut this and go over to the other side and continue to do the flip over method. So the thing you really want to remember here is for that first braid, sew under that braid, and then basically move around the hair, flipping back and forth, just to prevent the more you don't cut, the less shedding you will have. So I'm going to flip over and just continue, and then I'll do the same thing on that other side. Okay, so I've gotten all of these 16-inch in, so you can see how much hair is left out. And now from there, I'm just going to fill it in with the 14-inch, doing the exact same thing. So since I'm filling in, I don't need to, I've already covered the edges, and so from here, I'm just filling in, adding in the hair where it needs to go. So I am just going to fill in the hair and finish up. Okay, so I am all finished. Yes, yes. I'm loving it already. This was the quickest sew-in that I have done, you guys. It didn't take any time. I guess because it was so much leave out. I mean, sewing time, I think it took me about 2 hours or under 2 hours to sew in the hair. So it didn't take long at all. Really, really easy. And I'm hoping everything, it looks good so far. But I just kind of want to show you what it looks like. I haven't blended the hair or anything, but I just kind of want to show you the coverage. So I'm going to take the hair down and look, that's the ponytail. You can't see a track. Look at that, y'all. Oh my gosh, I'm loving it. It is looking good. It's pretty flat. I got the part in the middle. Uh-oh, that's what it looks like in the front. And that's what it looks like pushed up. So that's a 2 ponytail look. Okay, so that's it. I'll do another video on how I blend this hair, but that's it for now. Thank you guys for watching. Here's a couple of pics. I've been playing with it. You can see how well the hair blends. It looks really natural. I'm loving this hair so far. So I will keep you guys updated, and I'll be posting more videos. Thanks for watching. Stay tuned. Bye.